Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Desert Adventures in Arizona, coming to you live from the Ironwood Forest National Monument. Happy Monday, everybody. Thanks for spending a little time with me this morning on this President's Day. Let's see who's in the chat this morning. First one in was Tina and Jewel. On my way to drop some lads off at the ski hill. I'll be back in an hour. Wow, that sounds fun. RG is here. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Step Van Dan is here. Good morning. Hugs from Minnesota. Hope you're doing well. And there's Catherine Cook. Good morning, Catherine. Thanks for joining us. I've seen you in many other live streams, and I really appreciate you being here. Thank you. Cruising is fun every time. Oh, anytime. Cruising is fun anytime. Good morning. Good morning. There's my moderator, Diane Phoenix. Good morning, Diane. Tim is here, channel member. While I'm on the subject, I want to thank all my channel members. Tim is one of the master level channel members. We also have Van Life Rocks, Beliza Chubby, Roy and Becky's Travels, Traveling Tramps, Jolly Matilda, and of course Tim at the master level. Jenny D. My World is also a member. Fit for Expedition Fun Seekers, the Bad Idea Lab is also a channel member. James Catney's, Grandma Kelly's Clean Life, Clean Living. And thanks to Grandma Kelly for the shout out. She has a live stream preceding mine, and it's always fun to watch. Interesting subject today on Grandma Kelly's live stream. Also, I have CR View, a member, and Box Fan D. Thank you all to the members. Thanks for everyone who subscribes to the channel. I'm coming up on, well, I surpassed 1,900 subs now, and I'm really excited about that and appreciate everyone's support. Let's see who else we have here. Ava Potterfield and Friends. Another great channel. Ava's channel was just monetized. She got her 1,000 subscribers. Her watch hours are in the bank, and she's now subscribed. So we're really excited to see her and Doug reach that milestone. They worked very hard, and they made it thanks to everyone's help who subscribes and watches their channel. Now, Ava and Doug have a great Friday night is one of my favorite times, and Oki and I will set them up on the TV on Friday night, watch their music as we eat dinner. So thanks for the shout out, Ava. Appreciate it very much. Connecting with Nature is here. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Let's see who else we have here. Scrolling. CR View is here, another channel member. Be sure to check their channel out. I know you guys posted a video this morning. I need to go watch it. Oki watched it and said it was another great video, so I'll check that out. Scrolling. Hawkins Family Adventure. Good morning, Sandra. Sandra quit smoking 28 days ago, and she is rocking it. So congratulations to Sandra and her channel, Hawkins Family Adventures. Uh-oh, that white stuff is up in Minnesota. We actually had some snow here last week. I hate to admit it, but it did snow a little bit. Ava saying hello. Dave Wanders. Good morning, Dave. Good morning. A neighbor here in the Tucson area. Got to meet Dave and his wife out here at the Ironwood meetup. And Dave's got a great motorcycle. He was out exploring the monument a little bit while they were out here. Let's see who else we have here. And there's Mr. Badge. Hello, gang. We got no snow yet, Step Van Dan. Yeah, I know, Badge. I know. It's a good thing. That's why we're here, right? Saying hello to Badge. And oh, snow, what's that? Mobang says, yeah, I hear you. All right. And so if you see a channel here that you haven't seen before, go check them out. We're all about helping each other and supporting each other. So be sure to check out channels that you see. And let's see, Alice Wonderland is here. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. RG says there are more winter storms coming Tuesday. Yeah, we saw that Tuesday, Wednesday down here. I think Wednesday we have about a 50% chance of rain. You'll probably get snow up where you're at, RG, huh? But hopefully we don't get the snow. We could use the rain. We have poppies coming out all over the place, so it's going to be a good spring bloom for poppies and other desert wildflowers. There is Ava's channel. Thank you, Tim, for posting that. There's Ron Darrell, the famous Ron Darrell Adventures. It was on his live stream last night. It's always a good time, great conversation. There's Gracie and Jacques. Good morning, Gracie. Hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for joining us. Oh, yeah, you're rocking it, Sandra. You're rocking it. Ah, are you still at some undisclosed area, Badge? Yeah, I kind of lost track of Badge. I wonder where he's at. You in Arizona or California? I know you're not up north in Canada yet. Diane saying hello. Okay, there's Ron Darrell's. CRVU saying hello. Dave, yes, we are. It's probably top secret, huh, Badge? Top secret. Scrolling. There's Danny D. Good morning, Danny D. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us on this Monday, President's Day. President's Day kind of sneaks up on you, doesn't it? When I was working, it wasn't always a day off. Some places I worked, it was a day off, but the kids were always off from school because it was a federal holiday. So it kind of snuck up on you. And today is actually President's Day. So a lot of folks are off work. A lot of kids are out of school. Some people have to work. So they have to figure out, what do I do with my kids who are home? Thank you, Cass. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Many of us are trying to figure out what to do with the kids when we have to go off to work. And I guess a lot of people schedule a day off. It's a nice 3-day weekend if you have to take vacation. And there we have Roy and Becky's Travels. Good morning. Good morning. Trying to wake up. Thanks for being here, Roy. Appreciate it. Dave is headed to Death Valley. For a hopeful super bloom. Cool. That'll be a nice trip. That's some good riding over there, too. Good trail riding. There's Busby. Good morning, Chris. Good to have you here. Got to meet Chris at our Ironwood meetup. And hopefully next year again, we'll be able to hang out a little bit more. A lot of people in the chat. We have 21 people here. Awesome. There's Grandma Kelly. Good morning. Thanks for the shout out, Grandma Kelly. Grandma Kelly, her live stream kind of evolved into teenagers, and she has two boys that she's running around the country for Taekwondo events that they compete in, and it was an interesting conversation. Teenagers, and when they are exercising, and you know how teenagers are, sometimes they smell a little bit. And she commented that her boys had their feet up on the back of the seat as they were traveling, and she could smell their socks and their feet, and it just evolved into a funny conversation. Of course, we raised teenagers, and now we have teenager grandkids, and boy, oh boy, sometimes they come in and you just have to leave your shoes outside, please. There's Ron Darrell. There is Sue, Lucky Dog Productions moderator. Good morning, Sue. Thanks for being here. Susan Ski is here. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. All right. Have to head out to work. You guys have a great day. Please keep supporting this wonderful life. Thank you, Grandma Kelly. Appreciate it very much. Always a great supporter, member of the channel. There's the Bad Idea Lab. Good morning. Good morning. I learned something about the Bad Idea Lab. He was actually in the military, or associated with the military, and did some work on Air Force One way back when they were developing Air Force One. That was kind of cool. I'd like to hear more about that. All right, Catherine has a question. Where are you camping these days? Catherine, we're actually back at our home base. So we live inside the Ironwood Forest National Monument. And we have 5 acres out here. There's one section of land out here, which is 600 acres, that was grandfathered in when they created the monument back in 2000. So, Catherine, I know you guys are full-timers, right? If you are looking for a good place to camp in Boondock, the Ironwood Forest National Monument is 129,000 acres. And it's a great place to camp, beautiful area. We had an Ironwood meetup here February 2nd, and we had a great time. We had, I think, 38 or 39 people show up, and this was the flyer for it. And we're going to do it again next year. We co-hosted along with Mellow Nomadic Adventures, Fit for Expedition, and Ron Sees America. So between the 4 of us, we set it up, found a spot to camp, and then hosted 39 people out here. So we had a great time. So maybe you guys can make it next year. Dave's on his 2nd hour of coffee. I know, I hear you, Dave. Scrolling. All right, Busby, thanks for popping in. Appreciate it very much. MT Homestead is here. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Tommy is here from She Devil. Good morning, Tommy. Kaz24, I'm jelly of your hat. Hey, Kaz, when you get old like me, I can grow hair everywhere. And this hat I found about, 25 years ago at a resale store on 4th Avenue, I think it was, in Tucson. And it fit me, and I liked it. It's comfortable. I've had it for a long time. You know what they say, don't mess with a man's hat. And this is one of those that you don't mess with. Oh, yeah, you're right. Human vinegar factories. Yeah, that's what teenagers are. That's right. Interesting comments this morning. Jazz 24. You might have to re-add me. Rocky Mountain Life's Prospecting. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I think you're up in Colorado, if I remember. Hope your day's going well. A lot of folks are off today. How many people are off today for the holiday? It's a federal holiday, but not everybody gets the day off. Krubby the Beagle is here. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Alex is here. Happy President's Day. Thank you. Thank you. Whoa, Nelly Adventures popped in. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Hope you, Lucy and Brian and the pups are doing well. Bad Idea Lab is also a channel member, so be sure to check them out. The old prototype plane was at aircraft school, and we were working on it, making it look good to go to the Smithsonian. Wow, that's cool. You know, Bad Idea. When we were stationed in Langley, at Langley Air Force Base, Virginia, we had a chance to go up to the Smithsonian. And I wonder if your plane is up there. I'll bet it was, because I think we went through a number of museums up there. And I was a Air Force guide 21 years, so I like old airplanes, and I'll bet I saw your plane up there. That's cool. I have somebody pestering me here. This is Lucas, and he requires attention whenever he wants it. So here he is, huh? Yeah, he's a sweet boy. We've had him about 6 weeks or so, going on 2 months, I guess. And he's just turned out to be a great dog. He just stopped by to say hi to everybody. And that's Lucas. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. No, I don't think we're going to make it, Sandra. We'd like to, but I don't think we're going to make it to 023 this year. We're talking about going and visiting family the other direction, maybe Louisiana. We have family over there. We do want to get up there, though, to Oregon, and that would be a great reason to head up there. So we might make it next year, but I don't think it's going to happen. Don't think it's going to happen this year. Everybody's saying, okay, so Tommy is off today. Me and Susan for sure. Step Van Dam says, I'm told I'm off every day. You know, I retired in August of 2017. And one of my neighbors who retired a couple decades ago said, Steve, when you retire, you're going to find out you don't have enough time to do everything. Well, he was right. I didn't believe it at the time, but, you know, he says you really don't have a day off when you retire because there's always something to do. And he's right. I'm off too. I'll take the holiday. Yeah. Oki reminded me we need to put the flag up because it is President's Day. So I went out and put the flag up this morning. She reminds me, otherwise I forget. Everybody saying hello, making sure I didn't miss anybody. So, President's Day. Let's talk about President's Day. We all know that it's a day off for us, but you know, when did it start? Do you know that it actually is one of the holidays that's been moved around a lot and been renamed a lot, been modified? It actually started as Washington's birthday on the third Monday of February, is what it is now, and it's been celebrated since 1879. Now, up to 1970, 1879 to 1970, wasn't any change. In 1968, our politicians decided to give federal employees a 3-day weekend. Congress passed the Uniform Monday Holiday Act. The Uniform Monday Holiday Act. So that's when our 3-day weekends, and they started moving holidays around to give us 3-day weekends. And I always appreciated that. But I thought it was interesting that, it started off with Washington and they kind of added Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, that they combined all those people, past presidents, and they honor them on President's Day. And so that's kind of why we're here where we are. Now, when you talk about past presidents, so do you guys remember Jimmy Carter? Do you know what Jimmy Carter was known for? What was Jimmy Carter known for? Some off the press, we have made it needs to be a day of mourning, LOL. Yeah, puppy parties are the best. Dave got it. And CRView got it first. The peanut farmer, yep. Jimmy Carter was a peanut farmer. And yeah, we had gas shortages back then too. We sure did. I remember growing up, my job at my parents' house was on the weekends, to take their cars out. And I'm a teenager, so I love driving. And I took their Mustangs out. My dad had a 66 Mustang, mom had a 65. And so I got to drive those out, and you could put 10 gallons of gas in back then when we had shortages of gasoline on specific days. And so I got to run down the road, put 10 gallons in, and then go wait in line at another gas station and put 10 gallons in. When I got it full, I came back home, got the other Mustang, and off I went. So that was pretty fun to be able to do that. But yeah, Jimmy Carter was known as being a peanut farmer. Now, Ronald Reagan, now fast forward to Ronald Reagan. What was Ronald Reagan famous for? It was actually a candy. Yeah, Jimmy Carter's entered hospice care this week. He's 98 years old. My gosh, he's had a great life. Oh, I had a 65 also. Yeah, they were neat cars. Yeah, but you know what? He was interviewed here recently, and he said, "You know what? I've lived a long, good life." And he did a lot of work. He worked for built houses in his retirement for people that needed housing, and so he did a lot of good things. And he said, "You know what? I've lived a good life. I'm satisfied with everything that I've lived." Jelly beans, yeah. You're right, Diane. So Ronald Reagan had bowls of jelly beans all over in all the meeting rooms, all over the White House. He was a jelly bean guy. He just loved jelly beans. Tear down the wall. Yeah, he was famous for that. That was the Cold War era back then. Yeah, he was also an actor. As a matter of fact, I think today their Grit TV has a bunch of shows on with Ronald Reagan as an actor. Yeah, well, Nellie's saying hi to Ava, the newly monetized YouTube channel. Yeah, Ava got it. Dan got it. Jelly beans. Yeah. Gracie got it. Was a movie star. Should have stayed one. Aisha's here. She's saying hello. Good morning. Good morning. Look at that. We got traveling Merton and Sue. Good morning. Good morning. Merton and Sue just made it back to Massachusetts. They came all the way out here to Arizona and went to Box Van D's meetup. They met a lot of folks along the way, going and coming. We were lucky to meet them at the also Box Van D's and the Ironwood meetup. They came out, and Merton and I did some four-wheeling in the Jeep, and we had a good time together. So Merton and I think, are the same age. We click. We consider each other friends. So it was great to meet Merton and Sue. And they are going full time. So they had such a great time out here that they've decided they're going to sell their house and go full time RVing. So good for them. A&M Prospecting is here. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Habit for Humanity. Thank you, Alice. That's what Jimmy Carter worked on. Habitat for Humanity. Yeah, he was a good man. Good man. Yeah, jelly beans was a big deal for Ronald Reagan. Traveling Merton and Sue listening. I have a realtor coming in a half hour, so trying to get everything ready. So that's Sue. I think Merton is gone to work, and he's going to quit work, I think, the end of September. And they're going to go full time. So they're going to put their house up on the market. And check out Traveling Merton and Sue's channel to watch how they transition into full-time RV life. Scrolling. Everybody's saying hello. I appreciate everybody saying hello to each other. That's great. Desert Deb is here. Good morning. Good morning. I've seen Desert Deb on other live streams. And there's Lucas saying hello to somebody walking by. And thanks for joining us, Desert Deb. Appreciate it very much. Before coffee, we bite. There's Sandra. Good morning, Sandra. Don't scare him off, Dave. You're welcome. Thanks for joining us, Desert Deb. So George Washington, we know George Washington was the first president, and we're talking about President's Day here. What was he famous for? George Washington. We all went to school. We all learned all kinds of things about George Washington. But he was one of the writers of the Constitution, right? So think back to your history. What was George Washington famous for? Cut down the apple tree. That's right. Cannot tell a lie. Did George Washington have cool hair? Wooden teeth. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Masonry. Yeah, he was a Mason, right? Interesting. So he was our first president. Did a lot of things to basically help write the Constitution. Created our country. 1776. The Constitution was ratified. Was it the Bill of Rights? Came about. So he did a lot of things. So we celebrate him today, along with all the other presidents. What about Thomas Jefferson? Okay, he was a master mason. Lillian's here. Good morning, Lillian. Thanks for joining us. Lillian and Sandra are twin sisters. So thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Uh-oh, no coffee left at Susan's house. So what was Thomas Jefferson known for? So he had a place in Monticello, which was in Virginia. He was the third president of the United States. He was also an inventor. He invented a lot of things. He co-wrote the Declaration of Independence in 1776. He also invented something really interesting. He had 64 patents to his name. Great history lesson today. Our kids haven't a clue. I know, they don't teach history in school anymore, do they? Do you know he actually invented the macaroni machine? Macaroni machine that makes macaroni, he invented that. That was pretty cool. I was surprised to learn that. Invented the macaroni machine. And he invented a lot of other things too. He, in his place, when we were stationed in Virginia, lived over there, we took our kids to Monticello and toured it. And it was a great history lesson for them. The Louisiana Purchase. Very cool. Yeah, Gracie and Jock are full-timers too, so. You must be talking about, I'm not sure, was that, Jefferson? I think he was a humanitarian. He was big into helping make sure that people had health care and also housing. So, it goes all the way back to Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. Pretty cool. Thank you. Appreciate it, Sandra. All right, so we're 38 minutes in. So what's everybody doing today? Any special plans for President's Day? We're supposed to get rain here this week. Let me check the weather here. Hey Siri, what's the weather here?
Looks like it will be partly cloudy today.
Ooh, 71 today. So we're finally warming up. We're about done with the cold weather here, hopefully. Is there a way to subscribe off the chat? Subscribe to the channel. I think you have to go on the, I'm not sure, Dave, how you're coming in, but you may have to go to the channel. I think Thomas Jefferson started pushing that back, healthcare and housing back when he was president. Yeah, Wooden Teeth. B Bear is here. Good morning, B Bear. Another channel member. Thanks for joining us. Got to meet her at Box Fan D's meetup. Ooh, Ava is working. Thanks, Ava. Appreciate it. Pulling weeds on the homestead. Yeah, with all the rain we've had, Dave, I'm not surprised. You probably have a lot of weeds. Oh, thanks, Diane. Appreciate it. Close the chat and you'll be on the main page where you can sub. Thank you very much. Ava says they're going to be 60 degrees today. I don't know about you guys, we're pretty well done with winter. We like to see some buds and some flowers. And we were out cruising around the other day and saw some poppies out there. Cold where Sandra is. You'll get there, Tommy. You'll get there eventually. You're probably not too far beyond us. Minnesota, we have a 3-day snowstorm coming Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Isn't it funny? It seems like February is kind of a toss-up. You have some nice warm days, and then here you have the storms that roll through. Diane's taking her car to the shop. She's trying to figure out what's wrong with it. Hope it works out. Not too expensive, Diane, for you, and you get it fixed up. Going to lunch with Dee. She is our president today. Cool. Give Dee a hug for Oki and I badge, would you? Hugs to Dee. So, Tim, another channel member, says, still debating to work on the front yard or not. It's a holiday, so I think I'll take the day off from work. There you go, Tim. I like your thinking, buddy. I think so. Oh, trees are budding near Louisville. That's cool. I have to walk around a little bit. I don't think they're budding here yet. That's my favorite time is springtime when the birds start coming back and you get buds on the trees, and it's like, refreshing new life coming out. Desert Deb met Dee last month. That's cool. She's a neat lady. I actually taught or showed Dee how to fly a drone. So, Dee, she kind of, when I talked to her about flying a drone, she said, "Oh, I'm too old. I don't have the skills to fly it and all that." Well, that's all I needed to hear. So I took my drone up there. Oki and I went to visit her, and I put the drone up in the air, and she actually flew it. So if you check my channel out, Box Fan D was flying my drone, and she did great. She did just fine. Dave was out in the monument the other day. Witnessed some poppy action. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's up on the northern part, and then Oki and I were out driving yesterday, and it's blooming down here in the south. And if we get some more rain this week, boy, it's going to be awesome. Dan is ready for spring. Thought about cutting grass. Roy, let me see if you can find grass where you're at. I don't think you can up there in Quartzsite. B Bear is building the front cabinet and seat storage in my van today. That is cool. Awesome, B Bear. It's always fun to do improvements on your rig and make more storage, make it a little bit more comfortable. I love doing that stuff. Yeah. LOL, Roy, you got grass? Maybe a couple blades, but I don't think Roy's got too much grass. I don't think he owns any grass anymore because they're full-time. Oh, by the way, Roy and Becky's Travels go live at 11 o'clock Arizona time. It's 9:44 now, so an hour and 15 minutes, Roy and Becky's Travels will be live. So be sure to check them out. Just thought about it. Yeah, I hear you. B Bear saying hello. So let me see what I have to share with you. I think I made a new video to share with everybody in the chat. It's down here. So we have a water hole out here with a game camera set up. And I put this together to share with you. Let me get rid of this comment. Go back to brand. Here's a game camera. So we have a game camera set up at the fence line. We have water for the desert critters. And it's interesting to see who comes by. Isn't that cool? Really like watching the game camera and seeing who comes around. You know, you can't stand out there all the time, but when you can record it, you can go back and visually look and see who stopped by. And that was the download for the beginning of this month. Kind of neat. I love doing that. There's Brene. Good morning, Brene. Once again with coffee on hand. Thanks for joining us. Got to meet Brene. She came down to the Ironwood meetup. Yeah, we enjoy. And once you put water out, as Dave says, the critters appreciate you. They actually depend on it. And so I put a timer on a hose bib that fills that water up every morning so that all the critters will have water when they come by and when they need it. It's especially important in the summertime. Thank you, Ava. Ava's working, but she popped in to say howdy. And something else is going to come out with the warm weather. You know what this is? Rattlesnakes. Those were javelina, B-Bear. Javelina. That's what those were. We have a lot of them here, and they're like pigs. They're part of the rodent family, actually, but they act like pigs. And they like to play in the mud. And you saw that one cruising around and enjoying the mud hole there. So the overflow from the water hole makes some mud, and they come out there and they soak in that. Oh, thank you, Brene. Glad you enjoyed it. I was sure glad to have you there. So anyone who's interested, we have a meetup every year here in Ironwood Forest National Monument. This was this year, 2023. We're going to do another one next year. We had 39 people or so show up. We had a great time. We looked around the monument, looked at petroglyphs. We looked at old mines. We looked at all kinds of things out here in the monument. So we had a great time. Oh, Gia is here. Good morning, Gia. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. We are doing well and hope you are too. Oh, chat jumped on me. Do you get a lot of rattlesnakes in your home? Sometimes we do. And my worry is Lucas. So Lucas is a young pup. He likes to put his nose in holes around the yard and sniff. And our worry is that he's going to get bit by a rattlesnake. So we're going to try to find someone in the area to rattlesnake avoidance train him so that when he smells a rattlesnake or hears this, that he runs away, because it's very expensive to go to the emergency room for a dog that has been bitten by a rattlesnake. We don't want to go through that. How do you control rattlesnakes on the property? Well, I learned over the years, we've been out here about 18 years now, that if you control the rodents, you control the snakes. And so I try to control the rodents. We used to have chickens. We raised chickens for eggs, but guess what? When you throw chicken feed on the ground, guess what comes at night? You get all the rodents that come in. What comes after the rodents? You get snakes that come in, and there are good snakes and there are bad snakes. Well, the bad ones, of course, are the rattlesnakes, and you don't want to get bit by a rattlesnake. This is one of many that I have here. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 buttons. The top one broke off. So it's probably an 8 or 9-year-old rattlesnake. And when they're close to the house and they don't leave, when I poke at them, guess what I do with them? That's what I do with them. King snakes and mongoose. We actually have king snakes here, and in Okinawa, Japan, they have mongoose. They actually brought mongoose in to take care of the snakes over there that were getting too thick. Mongoose are actually faster than a snake, and they will take care of them and reduce. Yeah, you're right. They don't want to bite you. There are some that are aggressive. I'm having a brain fart here, but there's one green tinted Mojave. Rattlesnakes are aggressive, and I've stepped out on the back porch and had one advance on me that did not want me out there. And so there are some that are aggressive. Most of the time, the diamondbacks, the desert diamondbacks, are just doing their own thing. And if they're not close to the house, I leave them alone. Oh, yeah. Fairy Dust checked with me to make sure there weren't going to be any rattlesnakes or, javelina around the campground before we started our Ironwood Monument meetup. And I assured her that there weren't. And I was right, huh, Brene? We'll have to check that out. So Lucy recently posted a video on rattlesnakes. So Whoa Nelly RV Adventures has got a video on rattlesnakes. So everybody check that out. Barbecue snake fritters, not bad. Ooh, I don't know. Dan agrees. Stock Explorer is here. Good morning. Good morning. So our worry is that Lucas is going to encounter a rattlesnake. So we're watching very closely. We're also trimming up our yard. We have probably an acre or so fenced in. And so Oki and I are running around doing some trimming, clearing underneath the bushes to make sure that it isn't a prime location for a rattlesnake to lay up. And hopefully we can reduce and make it not livable for them, and they can live somewhere else. We don't want them around the house because we don't want anyone to get hurt, including Lucas. Rattlesnake's one of the most poisonous snake in the USA. Here in my country, the king cobra is the most poisonous and dangerous snake. Yep, that's a true statement. They never really go away. Still in the stone state. Well, yeah, snakes hibernate, if that's what we're talking about. And so they're very lethargic when they come out. We find them actually laying on the road. And so we're driving to town on the asphalt road, and you'll see a rattlesnake stretched out across the road, like one track of your lane, and they're actually trying to warm up. So that's when we know they're out, when we see them. I think they can be, Badge. I think cats are quick enough to be good snake hunters. I'm not sure that they eat the snakes. I know the cats go after the rabbits here. We have a feral cat that we feed, put food out for, and she actually hunts rabbits, and we see the remains of her hunting periodically. Crafty Traveler is home safe and sound. That's good. That's good. Good to see you, Lanny. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it very much. No snakes. Bob had a little snake wander into the house years ago. It was crazy trying to get it out. The dog alerted him about the snake. And that's what we don't know about Lucas yet, is how is he going to handle a rattlesnake the first time he sees it. Now, the way that they snake avoidance train dogs here in southern Arizona, they actually put a shock collar on them. They'll have you walk your dog up to a rattlesnake in a cage, and the rattlesnake will start rattling. The dog hears it, smells it, and sees it, and the trainer will actually hit them with a shock collar. So the dog learns, ooh, that's bad. If I get close to a snake, I'm going to get shocked. And so they learn pretty quickly that snakes are not good. Stock Explorer saying hello. Arizona does not have a king cobra snake. No, we do not. We have lots of other snakes. I think we have 6 or 8 different species of snakes, but not the king cobra. I just replaced my Sawyer's extractor. We'll take an ambulance 20 minutes to get out here. And that's about the same for us. Bad idea. It takes about 20 minutes to get an ambulance out here. But what they do is when they arrive here, they will assess the situation and they'll actually call a helicopter in. So when they arrive and they discover you've been bit by a rattlesnake, they'll actually call a helicopter in and they'll evacuate out that way. And then, of course, they start meds as soon as you get back to the hospital. So it's always a good idea to call 911 right away if you get bit. My brother has a trapeze school, and lots of people, if someone rarely sees a snake. My brother gets the stick and relocates it to the other side of the property. Yeah. And that's that's a good way to handle it. Now, if they're hanging around, now snakes are territorial, so they live in places, and just like we live in our house or our rig, even though you're mobile, you live in your rig and that's where you live and you always come back to that. Well, snakes are the same way. They're territorial. If you relocate them, they will come back to where their home is. And Oki was actually bitten by a snake, my wife, many years ago, probably a decade ago. And so we have some experience with snake treatment and the response. And we met a gentleman who was a reptile expert at the University of Arizona. And so I asked him that question. I asked him, does relocating a rattlesnake make sense? And he said, yes, it does make sense if you do it within a square mile. So he said rattlesnakes typically will go back to their home. If you relocate them within a square mile, they will come back to their home. If you get outside of the square mile, the radius of a mile, they will die trying to get back, and they typically have a hard time getting back when you relocate them far away. And so you can debate whether it's a good idea to relocate or, just move them to the other side of the property. It's different for every situation. Every situation is different. Here, if they exit the property when I poke them and chase them out, they live to be another day. But if they stand their ground, I can't risk getting bit or having my grandkids bit if they step outside and step on a snake. So I take care of them when they're close to the house. If they live outside away from the house, then they're fine. I have not done the rattlesnake vaccine. In fact, I should ask that, Lanny, about from our vet to see if they have a vaccine. Typically, we just try to have someone snake avoidance train them, and that's worked pretty well. Oh, there's Steve and Tina. Glad you made it in. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. Hopefully your trip up the hill was successful and you got the kiddos delivered. Yeah, snakes, some people don't like them. They're fascinating creatures. They take care of rodents, and in the right place at the right time, they have their job to do. Not a snake lover. B Bear says there's a rattlesnake class in Quartzsite. Gracie took Jock. Yeah, you could do it yourself. Yeah, I think if you have a shock collar, you can do it yourself. And I'm considering doing that too. Now, our last two dogs that we had on this property, we got them snake avoidance trained by the guy who we used to kennel them when we were out of town and we needed to put them in a kennel. And watching how he did it, I think you're right, B Bear. If you get the shock collar, you could do it yourself. But those guys know they had 3 cages, or actually 3 snakes. 2 were in cages. 1 was out in the open. The one that was out in the open was defanged, took the fangs out. And so there was no risk of a bite there. The other 2 were inside cages. 1 had its rattle taped so that the dog could not hear the rattle, but the dog could smell the snake. And so the trainer was interested in sight, smell, and sound. And each time you walked by a different snake, they would pick up a different scent, one of those 3. And so he wanted to make sure that if the dog smells it, they leave. If the dog sees it, they leave. If the dog hears it, they leave. And that was the goal in doing the snake avoidance training. And then you got to within 6 months, you could bring your dog back for a free recheck. And we took our dogs back, and as soon as the dogs saw that snake, they whipped around behind us and they wanted nothing to do with them. So it worked pretty well. Coral snakes and Masuga rattlesnakes in the USA are neurotoxic. The rest are hemotoxic. Now we're getting into science. So neuro is nerve, hemo is blood, right? Well, I don't know about that. Tastes like chicken? Yeah, you may be right. You may be right. Yeah, I don't know about that. So I think CRView and Roy and Becky are up there in Quartzsite. I don't know if there's a lot of rattlesnakes up there. There are some, and I imagine they'll be coming out here as soon as it starts warming up. Yeah. I know a guy I used to work with that would go pick up rattlesnakes, and he eventually got bit. He picked up a lot of rattlesnakes and moved them, looked at them, moved them around, but eventually he got bit, so he stopped doing that. I think all it takes is one bite and you're done. Yeah, I'll stick to chicken. I think I'm agreeable to that. It wasn't scary. It took some time for Jock getting shocked, and he learned. Yeah, they do learn. They do learn. There's Sue saying hello. So going down through to make sure I haven't missed anybody. Brave souls with handling snakes. Yeah. And most of the time, fairy dust, they warn you when you get close to them and you hear them rattle and you say, oh, there's a snake around here somewhere. Now, Duke was our chocolate lab that we lost here a few months ago. He would let us know when there was a snake in the yard. He was trained and he could smell it. And when there was any kind of a snake in the yard, he would sit on the porch and he wouldn't go out into the yard. So if he sat on the porch and wouldn't get off the porch, we knew there was a snake out there somewhere. Our dog Abby was bitten by a baby copperhead in Texas a couple years ago. We got lucky and she didn't get a large dose of venom. Yeah. And Abby's a little one, so that could definitely snow in Minnesota. Ooh. Yeah, Lillian says just watch where you walk, and you have to do that. They don't like to be stepped on. Okay, you just got back. I'm not a snake person. I will relocate it if it's easier. Yeah. They're usually just passing through, and that's true. They typically don't live close to the house. Now, like I mentioned, Bee Bear, I have worked on taking care of rodents because snakes will follow rodents, right? If you take care of the rodents, that's the snake's food. And so we didn't replace our chickens that we used to have because rodents would come in at night, and so the snakes would come in also. We'd go out and feed chickens, and there'd be a rattlesnake coiled up inside the chicken pen. And so when the snakes died off, the chickens died off, we didn't replace them because we didn't want any more rattlesnakes coming in with rodents, of course. It's time to start tapping on the steps of the RV with a walking stick before stepping out. Yeah, that could be. Relocate. Yeah, that's what you call it. Just looking at the tail gives me shivers. Yeah. And you get used to hearing this. Shock collar. Oh, Bad says he hates wearing a shock collar. Defanging a pit viper is a death sentence for the snake. Their venom is their digestive juices. Yeah, I can see that. And this guy that defanged it, kept it, is a training snake. I don't know. I suppose he had to feed it to keep it alive. I don't know how he did that, but is there anything out there that keeps snakes away? Food sources would be the way to keep snakes away. If there isn't food in there that they look for. L, do you use a shock collar on the badge? There are some products that claim to, but there are also photos of snakes curled up on bags of that stuff too. Yeah, I think it's variable. I think keeping their food supply down if you live on property. Now, you guys that are out in BLM area, you just have to keep an eye out when you're out walking around. You could relocate in all kinds of places at once. I get you. I don't want any kisses from the snakes, not at all. I don't blame you. New Zealand and Ireland, no snakes. Well, that's nice. Crafty Traveler says we may get a little snow here in Northern Cal. And snow means water, right? We need the water for sure. We've been in a terrible drought. Tonight, I think we're coming out of it here in Arizona. B-Bear says, I love snakes. I grew up with a big brother. We went for the weekend for a jumping spider seminar and field trip. He's weird. Whoa, spiders. Now we're getting into a different subject. When we talk about spiders, I might as well show you this. Now there's a spider for you right there. That's a desert tarantula. Oh, Backroad Exploits is here. Ew, not spiders. Lillian says, I don't want spiders. Yeah, we have a lot of those guys around, and they're not aggressive at all. You can see I was pretty close to it. It was on the side of the house and just crawling around. I love tarantulas. We go out looking for them. Yeah, we do too. Love our tarantulas. Joe Dirt's Travels is here. Wind and rain and snow here in the next few days in Arizona. Yeah, that's good. And Joe Dirt, are you seeing desert flowers where you're at? We're seeing them here. Backroad Exploits. Greetings. Thanks for popping in. I'm about 15 minutes over what I usually run, but I'm sure glad folks have come in to say hello. Thanks everybody for being here. In my brother's woodpile, yeah. They actually make burrows underground too. That's how we see them. They'll come out of their underground burrows. Mama Four Boys is here. Thanks for joining us. Loves animal creatures, very interesting. The ones that can kill are a little scary. Yeah, I hear you. Mama Four Boys says, you can have all the spiders. I won't fight you for them. Well, you know, like every critter in Mother Nature, everybody has a job to do, right? Oh, okay. Joe Dirt is in Havasu. I told them all the time they don't bite. I've never been bitten. Just don't squeeze them. Yeah, exactly. You're right, Bee Bear. All right. It's been a great live stream. Thank you, Tim, CRView. Hope you guys are doing well. And I'm going to wrap this up here. I won't kill them. I'll just stay away. And that's the way to handle them. You know, I don't know if they're actually poisonous. I know they're not aggressive, I suppose. Thanks, Alice, for coming in. I'm about to wrap this up anyway. I don't think they bite, but maybe they would if you were mean to them. But anyway, thanks everybody for coming in. Thanks, Lucy, for being here. Appreciate it. Tommy, Dan, Bee Bear, channel member. Thanks, Bee Bear, for being a channel member. I really appreciate your support. Hope you're doing well. And let me see if I want to run this one more time before we exit. This is my thank you to the members of the channel, and then we'll hit the exit video. So thanks everyone for being here, and we'll see you next time.